Friday. Dun, dun, dun. Hey, I love that intro music. I be like, you guys can't see me, but I'm like jigging. I love it. Happy Friday. The last Friday of October 2020. Oh, the day before Halloween. I used to love Halloween when I was a kid. All that candy. I didn't realize I was also exercising because I was walking, and then, the dress up, the costumes and all that stuff. Such a magical time. Such one of my favorite holidays outside of birthdays and Christmas because you got presents, right? But now as an adult, I kind of like dread Halloween. I actually, to tell you like a secret, I actually hope that my kids' progress reports are not good, or that they do something and I'm just like, you're grounded. I'm canceling Halloween. So then I don't have to spend money on these ridiculous costumes that they're going to wear around the house just a couple more times, right? Because they grow like weeds. So they're not going to wear it for another year. But yeah, that's definitely how I feel now as an adult. How times change, right? So, but anywho, in any event, you're here. I'm here. Happy Friday. Oh, I was like, when is our date night going to come again? But again, it's like 7 days later. So super excited. So many exciting things going on in my world and with the brand or the company. But I want to hear about you. I want to hear about your week and how you did and how everything's going. How are the kids? Are you guys ready for Halloween? Are you ready for if you're not in Florida, are you ready for the temperature to drop? I have a friend who's up in Oregon and she's like, oh, it snows and it's like snow flurries. I don't know nothing about that. I'm such a Florida girl. I've never actually seen snow in real life at all. So I totally don't get it. But what I do get is today it was 66 degrees in Florida and I was cold. So I know that's not a freezing temperature, but yeah, it gets chilly. I feel like that's chilly. So Takia says, hi. Let's see. Oh, it's by Antonia Tillman. Oh, okay. And then Terrence says, upstairs, LOL, inside, I'm here. Let's grow. All right. And he has more collaborations. That's what I'm talking about. Those are those wins, right? Oh, so exciting. Okay, so tonight we actually have a special guest again. We're actually kind of changing our platform a little bit. So we're still going to have nights on Friday nights where we talk about business and we're teaching. But we are expanding our reach, right? So we're growing and evolving. We're going to have a lot more guests onto our Friday Night Lives in addition to teaching and answering any questions that you all may have. So tonight is not going to be any different. We actually have a sponsor tonight, and her name is The Ready Writer. That's the name of her company. Her name is Takia. She was a sponsor for one of our Friday Night Lives a couple of months ago, but this time she's actually here live and in person, and we're going to discuss her book that just came out in September. So I want to make sure I share that with you guys. So real quick, if you're watching us on YouTube, I want you to like, share, and subscribe, and definitely do what? Share to someone you know. So that we can continue to grow our reach and continue, expanding the people that are included in our date night. Because even though it's just me and you, and that's what's most important, we still want to share, right? Okay, cool. That's nice. All right, cool. So let me just go ahead and talk about our wins this week. I can see that Terrence has had some many wins already. Someone else I'm inside an accountability pod for a course that we are all creating. And her win was, hold on just one second. I want to quote it verbatim because it's bomb. So her win is that she finally sent 42 invites to her Facebook group. So big up, and I'm so proud of you. Way to go with that visibility, girl. I love it. And she has some great content. She's teaching people about stocks and investing and how to invest when you're self-employed and all these other great gems that I'm definitely going to get closer to the monitor on. So I'm super excited about that. Kia says, happy Friday. Hi, happy Friday. So excited to see you. So win for me. There's like a little thingy in the house. So win for me this week is we just finished. Today is the last day of our Market My Business challenge. And when I tell you guys, these people in this group, they got so much information. I can't even explain to you, but I'm going to try. So they now know what their brand voice is, how they want it to be conveyed, which words can they use in their copy and in their captions in order to make sure they're emulating the brand voice they want. They've located, defined, they even know what their ICA is afraid of now, you guys. Like, that is huge. You can use that in so many different ways as you're trying to cater and serve and solve their problems. We also went over branding, being consistent with branding, and we taught them how to start their own marketing strategies, like in 3 steps. Boom. We had a guest expert. And then the 4th day, we had another guest expert. Her name was Taylor. She discussed websites and branding, and SEO, and getting found with your digital footprint and all the sites that you need to go to. She dropped some amazing free resources to the people in the challenge. And then we went into all of the tech. So for all my techies out there, we talked about all these different platforms like Zapier and ConvertKit and MailChimp and Sam's Card. And we talked about lead pages and just how all of those things connect and what they do and what you use them for. And then today was the last day. So we talked about social media. And we went through, what does that mean when someone says, optimize my Facebook page, optimize my LinkedIn, my Instagram. And we looked at some examples and we went in depth, you guys. Like, it was amazing. They are leaving that challenge with so much more information than they had before, and also with a really, really juicy offer that I gave them at the end. So if you want more details about that offer, I'd be more than happy to share it with you, but you got to act fast because it's not going to stay forever, right? Okay, awesome. So that was my win this week. Joy says, hi, Joy. Happy Friday. Terrence was able to get 4 designs done, you guys, this week. That is ridiculous. That's amazing. If you are a fashion brand or you're a boutique owner and you're thinking about starting your own brand, I would definitely reach out to Terrence. He is well connected. He knows exactly what he's doing. He has the 411 on the Fiverr people to use and who not to use, right? So I would definitely reach out to him. So that, in a nutshell, is our wins. Oh, so excited. Oh, I'm so happy everybody is growing and glowing together, right? It's always better when we do it together. Okay, so real quick, I don't know how long you've been following me, so I want to make sure you know we are well on our way with our mission. So Assist-U's fiscal year goal and mission is to help 100 businesses start or either launch or start a new product or service. So we want to help. We want to help you launch. Like, there's no better feeling than seeing our clients' face light up when they realize that all of their stuff is set up, all their tech is set up, all of their branding is consistent. And now, here you go. Let's start building your audience. Let's start building that email list. Let's start making those sales and getting those deals and knowing strategically where they're going to come from and where you're going to put your efforts. Like, it makes me so warm and like tingly. I'm just so excited about it. I don't even know what to do. Like, it's one of my favorite moments of my coaching days when I'm sitting with my clients and we're doing that together. So we are rolling right along. And like I said, each client has maybe like 2 or 3 launches that they're trying to do at a time. So we're definitely going to meet this goal and definitely exceed it. I think we're going to actually meet it by first quarter of 2021. So we might need to up that number just to keep reaching and keep thriving. Oh, so Latasha says her win is that she has a digital course completed and she's ready to launch. Air hug! So excited for you! I cannot wait. Oh, so I love surrounding myself with people who are just doing positive things and building their business. It's like a breath of fresh air. It just keeps me motivated and energized. And not to mention these vitamins I'm taking, which I'm creating a vlog of it so I can give you guys, the history of it once I'm done, because I don't want to promote it until I like settle down a little bit with it. But I want to let you know that they work. Taking your vitamin works. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next part of our segment. So we're actually going to bring on our special guest. She's an author. She is a copywriter. She's a copy editor. She is a coder. She's a teacher. She's a mother. She's a wife. She's a business bestie. She's everything under the sun that is right and wonderful and sweet with the world. So I want to go ahead and bring on Takia and introduce you guys to her. And then we're going to go over her book and, hopefully get some behind the scenes, tidbits and reasons of why she wrote what she wrote. So here she goes. Hi.
Yay.
How are you doing?
Nervous. It's funny being on this side. I watch these every Friday, but this side is fun.
Oh, well, I'm going to try to make you as comfortable as possible. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, our audience is not going to bite. You're part of our audience. You're a nice individual. Most of the time. That's all I know. So I think it'll be good. So before we actually get started, I want to make sure everybody has taken notice of our extra person on the live, which would be my husband. So it's funny because I was like, babe, I miss you because I've been working a lot. And he's like, oh, I miss you too. So he actually went and printed on his own, the printer downstairs, there's a lot of ink, a picture of us. And then he gave it to me and I was like, I'm going to hang it right here so that I'm always with you. So, but he won't say anything, I promise. Okay. So Takia, she changed the narrative. I got this book in the mail today, or actually this week. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
I'm so excited. So for you guys who don't know, Takia and I just met this year, and we met through a mutual client. And she has just been the most sweetest person I've ever met. She's super smart and nerdy, and I'm kind of nerdy and kind of techie too. And we're like both beautiful, so it just kind of worked. That we became as close as we are. But when she told me that she was writing a book on top of everything else that I know she has going on in her life, it just like touched my soul. Takia, am I lying? When I first opened the book, I started crying, right?
She did. She who cried. She almost made me cry, and I am not a crier.
I know. Well, you want to know where those tears came from? They came from just the amount of love and support that I have for another woman entrepreneur. That's where it came from. That's where it came. No, I'm serious. I'm so proud of you because you had no idea who I was at the beginning of the year. But this book, this is a tangible accomplishment that you have done. And I just want to love all over you and give you the praise that you deserve because this is a big deal. It's a very big deal. Not to mention well-written. So, okay. So tell me, or I guess I know you. So introduce yourself to everyone else.
So I am Takia. I'm actually a full-time teacher of math and computer science. I do all things tech nerd world. I code. I've taken apart computers. I've put them back together. I teach math. I majored in it. I thought it was fun. Other people simply hate it. I loved it. And then recently, over the past 2 years, I started writing. It started with a blog. 100% transparency. I am God's girl all day. And so the blog was not my idea. I'd been joking about it for years, and I kept telling people, you know what, all the stuff I go through teaching, I'm gonna start a blog because nobody would believe this half the stuff that I saw on a daily basis. Like I had to write it down. And so I was sitting in my house one day and it was like, okay, go ahead and start it. So that's where Takia the teacher started. So it started off about teaching and all things education. And the day that the tech teacher had no technology, and so I had to teach programming with a whiteboard and some markers, and all the kids thought it was like fabulous. And I had notes and arrows and stuff all over the chalkboard, and they were just like, "You can really do that?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I'm supposed to." So, okay.
What is technology? You can actually think on your own. Yes. Yes.
Right. And, but it was just the most ironic thing ever that the tech teacher had all the tech issues that day. Like nothing worked. The desktop didn't work. The laptop didn't work. The projector died. Like it was just a whole kamikaze of events that just wiped out everything. So I was like, forget it. We're just going to go old school and do it by the board. And they were like, do what? I said, code. We're going to write it all out. And so sitting in Chick-fil-A, maybe about 6 months after I had started the blog, and I sat down to start writing some other random teacher story. And God said, you're going to write what I say. And I said, okay, cool. What am I writing? And then he repeated what I say. And I said, oh, all right then. And so from that point, like my blog shifted. So it went some stuff to teachers, some stuff to encouragement, some stuff for upliftment, things about events going on in life, things about how different things that I've gone through in life and how I overcame them. Mm-hmm. Because one of the things that I did was take the time to reconnect with God to get all of my stuff straight. And so in the process of going through all of that, I met Antonia Tillman, who is actually the author of She Changed the Narrative. She changed her narrative. We were in a mutual Facebook group for a class, and similar to Antonia, we started randomly talking. She found out I wrote, I found out she wrote. We were like, oh, cool. And then she's written, for the Bible app. She's written devotionals on the Bible app. So we would talk about doing different things of writing. And she told me about a year before this book came out, you're going to be a best-selling author. And I can't wait for the day the book comes out. And I said, huh? I'm not even really thinking about writing the book. She said, yes, you are.
I love that. So
fabulous. And so fast forward a year later, she says, hey, I'm putting together a book. I'm looking for some people to write. Do you want to write as one of the authors, one of the co-authors? So I said, sure, why not? So she told me the premise of She Changed Her Narrative. So she said, just pick any. I said, well, is it a specific thing that changed or just pick one? So the original thing that I submitted, she sent it back and she said, it's awesome, it's beautiful, and it's amazing. Save it for your book. And I was like, I'm still not on this whole book thing yet, but okay. She said, no, for real, that goes in your book. That needs its own story in and of itself. Mm-hmm. So I had just wrote randomly the piece that actually appears in the book called Xenon. And I was sitting at church one Sunday, and I'm the tech girl for church as well. So I'm the person that's flashing all the stuff on the screen. I'm adjusting mics, and now that we're all digital, I'm in the background making sure the signal doesn't fade, and Facebook comments and the whole 9 yards. So
one person who's a church member who only has one job. Like, it's so funny. Okay.
So I was sitting in church and I was looking at the television, and I saw like flashes of chemistry signals on it. They weren't actually on the television. I just kind of daydreamed out and was like, huh, interesting. So when I got home, I looked up the one that I saw, and it was called Xenon. Mm-hmm. And so Xenon is a chemical compound that doesn't have to react with any other chemical because it's already complete by itself. It has enough electrons, has enough protons. It can completely stand alone on its own. And so I started writing, and I looked it up, and I was like, oh, this is really good. And so I just kept writing. But by the time I got to the end of it, I said, this is fabulous. I have nowhere to put it. So I was actually about to put it on my blog when she sent the first one back to me. It was like, no, I need you don't use that one. I know you have something else and you give me something else. And so I just wrote it. So I fixed it and tweaked it and sent it to her. And she was like, oh my gosh, it's about chemistry. And you just took chemistry and taught the whole world Jesus about chemistry. I was like, well, shouldn't you? Like, he made science. I don't.
That. I also love that in the pages that you have, you also touched on certain moments of your life. Like you talked about being in junior high school.
Mm-hmm.
And we do learn about chemistry and Jesus and stuff, but we're also learning a lot about you as a person. And one of the things that we touched on in the challenge that we just completed was branding. So your personal brand. If anyone out there is watching this, and we do teach on these lives, right? So just from a teacher moment, from the teacher, from the non-teacher, Takia found it easiest to be herself and to use that to catapult her brand, her personal brand, which is laced all over her social media platform. So Takia, the teacher, she's seen as the actual teacher. She is teaching you in everything that she writes, whether it's from a co-author of a book or on her blogs. They're funny, they're humorous, they're relatable, but she's still teaching you something. So I love how you just naturally weaved yourself in and out of these different platforms, and you continue to do that. Another thing that I loved about this is that one of the lines is my favorite. I'm going to read it for you.
Mm-hmm.
It says, growing up, even now, I was strange. Definitely weird. 100% nerd. Always the smart girl. Like, if you guys haven't taken an acting class, these couple of small sentences is exactly what you're going to need in order to create your character, your persona. And the fact that you are embracing it now as an adult, all of these different things, and it's okay that you were that way. I absolutely loved it. I was like, yes, love that she's a nerd. I'm nerdy too. So that really drew me in to continue to read. And I don't know. I feel like there's so many things about this that, what is your favorite part that you love to write about in your chapter that you want to share with people?
My favorite definitely is the part where I just outright said, yes, I'm a weirdo and I'm fine being the weirdo. Because the funny part was that growing up, like it was my thing. Like everybody knew it. It was widely accepted and it was fine. And nobody argued with it. Everybody just left it alone. If at any given moment, give me any topic, I'm probably going to go all the way off into some dissertation type topic about it, and then I'll sit down and go back to saying nothing and be okay saying nothing. Or I would just sit in rooms and like analyze stuff and then wait till later and like have a whole thing to break down all the pieces that they left off or that could have, should have, would have been said and didn't. But my favorite part was actually how I ended up becoming Takia the teacher. Because it all started because I was sitting at a tutoring session and I just watched this little girl like break down the ultimate engineering problem in 5 minutes flat. Like she took that thing from A to Z and wiped the slate clean with it. 2 minutes later, this little boy that she like walked in and all of a sudden she knew nothing. I mean, absolutely. Like every question you asked her, she was like, I don't know. And I said, but you just sat here and broke down the whole thing. She was like, yeah, but I don't know if it's right. And so this little boy came in and he gives his idea and she decided to go with his idea. Well, his idea turned out to be wrong. So she said, well,
all little boys' ideas wrong. All little boys' ideas are wrong.
So she went back, and so after he gave his wrong one, she was like, well, how about you try this way? And it was her original thought, but she didn't have enough confidence in her. Well, she had the confidence in herself. She didn't have the confidence in herself in front of him to actually lead with it. And so when it was over, I got her by myself and I said, don't ever play down who you are for anybody. be the smart girl and be fine being the smart girl. And if he can't take it, he's not the boy you want to deal with anyway.
Bye.
But then the irony of that whole thing is that at the time I was mid-20s, boyfriendless, because smart girls didn't necessarily have boyfriends. When you tell them, oh, what do you do for a living? I teach math. And they're like, oh, so you're smart. Yeah, I am. So that kind of dwindled the conversations. Or, you know, if you say, they say, what are you doing? I'm in grad school for applied math. Applied what? Math. Yeah. What do you do with that? I'm going to be a hacker. And they're just like, oh, okay, well, it's been great meeting you. And so the whole irony of it was that I could tell this girl, stop it. But at that point in time, I had actually stopped telling people what I was in school for or what I thought. I just said I teach middle school, or, you know, I'm in grad school, and they just assumed like business or English. Like, what do you teach, English? I was like, no,
So
I don't. But
I'm gonna be very get personal and transparent with you real quick. Sorry, I like to put my foot under my thigh. I don't know why. It's just my thing. Until it falls asleep. So okay, so I had that same issue too when I was in my teens. I wasn't like in my 20s yet, but because I would have been like married and stuff or whatever.
Mhm.
But I had a similar issue. I've had a job since I was 15. Just randomly went into a Long John Silver's with my grandma, and they offered me a job because I was like bubbly and perky or whatever. So ever since then, I've always had a job, and I've always worked hard, and I've never had an allowance, and I never asked my parents for money. And it was just, that's just what it is. You work, you make money, you live. So I remember when I was a younger, dumber Antonia, and all of my like really pretty friends and stuff would get guys to approach them in the clubs and buy them drinks, or they would get like these guys that would just spend all types of money on them and take them on trips and like pay for their rent and all these other, you know, great lavish things, not knowing what they were doing behind the scenes to get these. And I'm sitting here working my 9 to 5, you know, studying and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, I know I'm cute. Why can't a man ever, you know, pay for those things for me? Why can't I get an expensive bag? Why can't I get that Red Bull and Hennessy drink or whatever at the club? Like, I was upset. And one guy actually sat down and told me, he was a friend of mine from high school. He was like, you're very intimidating. You are a no playing type of woman. And I was so young. And he said, nobody can approach you right now, how old we are. Like, we're not together enough. So that's why we ain't checking for you. And I was just kind of like, I was angry in the moment. But now as an adult, thank you. Thank you, guys. Who were not adult enough to do anything whatsoever to enhance my life. Thank you so much for steering away and going away. But now I'm married. Obviously, that doesn't matter. But that's something similar. Like, I was really hurt. I kind of like, I wouldn't tell people what I did for a living, or I was a supervisor, or that I was working at Citibank or whatever. Like, I wouldn't say it. So that is something similar. I think it's a phase. And I wish I would have had somebody older, a woman, especially a Christian woman, to look at me and to tell me that when I was younger. So that's awesome that you told that girl that, like, don't ever dim your light or think something's wrong with you. So.
And I've been saying it this is my 18th year in teaching, and I think I have to say it like at least once a year.
Yeah.
Now it's got to the point, I just announced it in the beginning. I'm like, look, this is my classes normally gravitate to girls because I'm the only female computer science teacher, full-time computer science teacher. There are 2 others that teach it, but they teach business classes too. I'm the only one that teaches computer science all day long. The only girl, the only Black woman. And so I catch the both worlds coming. So they're just like, that's really what you teach? Yes, that's really what I teach.
Yes.
And then they talk to me and they're like, but Ms. Gaither, you're normal. I was like, yeah, I'm always going to be normal. Everybody's normal. Just because I know all this stuff doesn't make me not normal. And so they like that because I'm fine being the nerd girl. Like, I walk in the room like, yes, I'm the nerd. I wrote another piece and I announced to a group of people, yes, I'm bossy. I'm well aware. And now the bossy turned into being a teacher because it wasn't that I'm bossy. It's the fact that those are leadership skills that nobody took the time to cultivate at the time. So they just called it bossy. And then I had to realize the flip side that people who don't have those abilities see it as bossy when you do. So because I knew how to use what was already within me to turn it to offer whatever other people thought of me and use it to be, okay, that's what you know me for, but you don't know me for it in the negative way. You say, yes, she's bossy, but I know she cares about me because she will break down what it is I did and tell me how to fix it.
Yeah.
She's not just going to bark orders at me. She's going to tell me what to do and how to get past it and how to move forward. And then in certain situations, give you a hug when it's over. Like it just is just who I became and who I am. And so even when, you know, things get different in life, like that's the person that I've always been. I don't know how to be anybody else. And the minute I tried to be somebody else, it was a whole disaster. A whole disaster.
I tried to be one of them little thotties. It didn't work. It's ridiculous.
At all. And that was my whole thing. I was like, this is a whole mess. Like, why do you? I can't live like this. This is not my thing. I'm not gonna do it.
No. You mean you're going to these restaurants just to take pictures of this food and not to actually eat it? Like this is not. You're just going out just to walk around and be seen. You're not trying to dance. Like I don't.
Right. Like I'm not with none of that. I'm good staying home. Thanks.
Yeah, right. Stay home.
With my book and my computer. I'm good.
Let's do this business. How about that? Yeah. But no, I definitely think it's a phase, but I think that we need more people like you in this world to check us when we're young. And it's funny that you mentioned about, you know, cultivating those leadership skills. I think my parents taught me about leadership through their example and through their actions. And it wasn't until I went to my first like real corporate America job, someone actually, it was a woman, took me under their wing and, you know, told me, you know, this is how you dress. This is how you, this is what you do. And it wasn't trying to limit me. It was just trying to mold me into what she already saw inside of me. She saw that I was not necessarily a boss, but she saw that I was going to be a leader in some capacity. And I'll never be grateful.
My parents never called me bossy. They knew what it was. My mother could see the look come on my face right before I went on one of those tangents. And, you know, sometimes she would be in the background, like giving me a gauge to either calm it down or let it fly. And she'll still do that today. And I'm 43 and she'll still be around and she'll be like, just lay low for a minute. I'm like, but it's stupid. Like, I can't lay low for a minute. And so, you know, she never called me bossy. It was my family never did. It was everybody else. It was the whole outside world. Oh, she's just bossy. She's just going to tell people what to do all the time. One of my best friends, her first impression of me was, who is this bossy babe with these crab tickets? But she realized so much later that it wasn't the fact that I was bossy. Like it went well and everybody ate. And when she understood the reason behind all of my directions and the no, stop, wait, move, sit down aspect of it, then she understood because that was the first year. It was a crab party. And that was the first year they never ran out of food. And everybody that came was like, oh my gosh, like how did we never run out of stuff? No, I did not. Sorry. Excuse me.
It's okay. I think you know her. She says yes to Kia.
Yes, that is my bestie from Thank you.
It's so cute. How beautiful people find beautiful people. It's just that way. It's so
yes.
Okay.
That is my sister.
So
she also got called bossy, but
she also got called bossy.
We all did. It's a whole string of us.
I love how our culture now is embracing the boss kind of label. And I think it's so funny how you just see boss or bossy or do it like boss everywhere now. It seems to be good. When I was growing up and I was watching Rugrats with Angelica, and she was yeah, she was real, but she was like mean about it. She was real mean about it. I kind of always wanted to be like Angelica. I didn't have any younger siblings, but I definitely wanted to, do what you do. I was told I was a nerd as well in my family. Anytime somebody needed to figure out how to spell something, they would come ask me. Mm-hmm. Now it's flipped or enhanced a little bit, gotten a little bit better to where it's, if anybody has any business questions, go ask Antonia. Antonia knows how to do it. She'll help you. My aunt is painting these beautiful pictures now in her spare time because it's quarantine, and she wants to set up an Etsy shop. So she's like, Antonia's got it. She'll help me. So it's a blessing. And I love how family just kind of accepts you for you if they do, right?
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So real quick, because I'm going to let you go. I know you have the kiddos and it's a Friday night. So I want everybody to head over to Takia's website. I'm going to drop the link in the comments. It might even be in the description box up above if you are on Facebook, and go out and support her. It's an awesome book. It's not just her. I believe it's 13 other authors.
Yes, there are 13.
13 co-authors in the book.
And I was also the editor with Spun. So again, talking to my friend, she's like, editing costs so much money and yada. I was like, well, I'll do it. And she said, for how much? I said, I'll do it for free just because I love you. I don't, you need help. I know how to do it. I'll do it. And so from there, that's where the Ready Writer came from, because it was like, okay, now it's time. Like, you've written, you've edited, you've done all the things in the middle. This is not this is not a hobby. This is a viable solution to some things that needs to come out into the open. And so she was my very first editing client, and still continues to be an editing client. It was like, you did all of that, and I can't even tell you, how grateful I am to all. I'm like, well, it's nothing you don't really have to say. I did it because
this is what you're supposed to be doing, which is why I'm trying to get you on my team. So all right, everybody. So you have her contact information. I'll go ahead and put it back onto the screen. Please contact her. Grab her book. It is a page turner. There are so many other women authors who's in the book. It's
awesome.
It's definitely an inspirational read. I appreciate it. I paid full price just because people are like, oh, you got the hookup. No, I paid for it, and it should. And I am so glad I did, because it is just continuing to bless me every day that I pick it up ever since I got it. So thank you so much. I'm so proud of you. You did great. I hope you're not nervous anymore. I hope you're doing good. You good?
I'm okay.
Okay, good. All right. Thank you, Takia. Bye. All right, you guys. I hope you really, really enjoyed Takia coming and showing up and showing out and explaining to us her story and a little bit of her childhood. And definitely this amazing book that she co-authored and edited. It is awesome. The website is actually in the ticker tape, and I think I'll also go ahead and put it in the comments. Please support. If you're looking for something wonderful to read that's inspirational and uplifting, She Changed the Narrative anthology is where it's at. So a couple of new upcoming things for Friday night sessions. So we are actually dropping a new segment starting on Monday and Wednesday every week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's called Business Nights with Antonia. We're going to have some current events. We're going to talk about hot topics, and we're also going to continue to have more guests onto the scene. So very excited about what's about to come for the company, for the brand, for me, and of course for you. And I'm so excited, and I really want to hear all about it. So get into the comments and let me know what you thought about tonight's Friday Night Live, and if you'll be able to make it on Monday or Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to join into the fun with Business Nights with Antonia too. All right. I love our date nights. Oh, it's like my favorite time of the week. Now I get to be with you 3 more times. Do you know how serious we're getting? We're getting so serious. I get to see you 3 times a week. So I'm super excited about that. Like, I hope you are too. I hope it's like, let me hurry up and pencil this in. All right. So Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. Keep social distancing. You know, they say for the kids to wear costumes, but also put on a mask as well. Let's keep everybody safe that we know, love, and care about. And even that we don't know, we need to care about them too. So have a good night. Bye.